What's up everyone, Howie Moves here. Today I'm going to show you how to recreate the iconic lead from the Blade soundtrack, one of the most recognisable rave and techno sounds ever made. This is the start of a brand new series where we break down and rebuild classic rave and techno sounds with Ableton stock plugins. Famously featured at a vampire blood rave at the beginning of the film, this isn't just a cool sound, it's been hugely influential in shaping techno for decades. If you listen to modern electronic music today, you'll hear the same Roland 303 acid sounds constantly being reused, reimagined and reinvented. Understanding where these sounds come from and how to build them yourself gives you a massive advantage as a producer. So if you're into classic rave, techno, or learning how to design powerful sounds from scratch, make sure you're subscribed. And if you'd like to grab the preset and the project from this tutorial, you can find it as always over on my Patreon. Let's get into it. So in Ableton, and this is what we're aiming for. It's a timeless classic. Let's build that lead sound from scratch. So for this sound, we're going to use Ableton Wavetable, which is a very versatile synth. We'll just drag and drop it in there. We're going to set the oscillator position in basic shapes to 76. And that sits somewhere in between a saw wave and a square wave, and that's the sweet spot for this sound. We're going to set the filter over here to bandpass. We're going to set it to a 24 dB filter, because that's the same as the Roland TB303. Set to OSR. Set the frequency to 280. Resonance to 118. So it's a lot of resonance, really pushing the resonance here. Set the drive to 13.7. So we're going to drive this filter. We're going to come over to the amp envelope. We're going to put the decay to 174. We're going to put the sustain to -7. Release to 1.5. Come over to envelope 2. Set the decay to 281. Sustain to 0. So all the way down. Release to 16 milliseconds. Okay, so we're going to come up to the matrix and modulate the filter frequency by clicking on it with envelope 2, and we're going to set this to 11. We're just going to set the volume to -5, so boost a little bit in the plugin. Set the synth to mono, glide to 180 milliseconds. So now if we drag this MIDI down, let's hear what it sounds like. It's quite weak at the moment, but now let's add some audio effects to really bring this sound out and make it powerful. So the first thing I'm going to do after this basic synth is add a compressor. We're going to keep the ratio at 4. We're going to have the attack at 102 milliseconds, so it lets a bit through. Release can stay at 30. And let's just dial some of that in with the threshold. Okay, so we go for about 3 dB. In the original, they famously used some unknown guitar pedal, but I'm going to use raw to get a similar effect. Okay, so set it to single mode. Change the shaper mode to diode. Set the drive to 3 dB. And mount at 75%. So really driving this. Let's have a quick listen to that. Now let's add some effects. After raw, we're going to use echo. We're going to group that so it's running in parallel, Command G. And we're going to create another chain. Make sure the echo is set to 100%. We're going to leave the left side an 8th note, but we're going to use notes instead of dotted. And we're going to unlink. And then on this side, we're going to leave it dotted. So you've got notes and then dotted on this side. Feedback, keep at 50%. It's perfect. We're going to come into the EQ and just high pass it, removing some of the mud. Then we're just going to darken it at 2500 to take away some of the highs. Take the stereo down to 67, which is just going to narrow the delay. Next, reduce the echo to -7.7. In this modulation section in the middle, come into here and just change this filter to around 7. If you listen closely to the original, the filter kind of opens up and closes down a little bit. It's not static. So final touches, we're going to add an EQ8 to everything. High pass it at 86 Hertz. And then we're going to add one more high pass, also at 86 Hertz. So it's doubling the strength of it. And we're going to add one more at 300 and just do a little dip. So we're dipping some of that mud out at about 300 Hertz, just a couple dB should do something like that. Okay, so let's dial in some sidechain compression. Use a compressor, come to here, external, choose kick, set the attack to minimum, set the look ahead to 10 milliseconds, and mix some of this in. The last thing I'm going to do is send it to 2 small reverbs, 1 small room, which is just a hybrid reverb on the Made for Drums BLDG setting in convolution reverb, and let's send it to a little bit of that. Just listen until you can hear it clearly and then just back it off a bit. Now we're going to add a larger reverb with this main reverb. And it's set to chambers and large rooms, digital chamber, and a convolution of about 2 seconds. I've come in here and I've just removed some of the lows so it's not too dark. And now let's send our sound to some of this reverb. You can see why this is such an iconic sound, but it's actually quite a simple sound. You'll see a lot of square waves and a lot of saw waves in this type of music. Nothing crazy out of the box here, but just simple sounds done really well. If you'd like to grab this project, it's available on my Patreon. You can also check out my brand new Wavetable Rave techno presets, audio services, coaching, and much more at lawrecords.com. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.